Great. So, hi everybody, and thank you for joining the second of the Oncue Mover Masterclasses. So, my name is Claire Simpson. I'm the Director of Marketing at Oncue, and I'm delighted to have Ben Wright from Today's Local Media. He's joining us as the guest speaker for today's webinar. So, Ben's just going to go over Google My Business and how you can use this to get more leads in your local area. So, it's going to be some great content. Super excited to have Ben here. So, Ben, I'll hand it over to you.
Great. Thanks, Claire. Yeah, hey everybody. As you said, I'm Ben Wright, founder and CEO of Today's Local Media. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in my presentation here and we'll get things kicked off. Can you see my screen there, Claire?
Yes, we can see your screen. Yeah, we're all good.
Cool. All right, so like she said, I am going to give you guys a few tips on how to master Google My Business today. My hope is that you walk away from this with at least one thing you can, go to Google My Business and do for your company, and it'll help you out. So Claire's going to have a little Q&A session at the end. And so any questions that you have during the presentation, just pop them into that Q&A box down at the bottom, and we'll answer them at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. Thank you, Claire, Kate, and everyone from Oncue for having me. I love talking to movers. We talk to movers every day, and it's cool learning about the industry and what's been going on lately. This year's been pretty crazy for everyone. So a little about me. So as I said, I'm the founder and CEO. I'm based in Dallas, Texas. I've been doing mover marketing for over a decade, and we don't focus only in movers, but mostly moving companies, portable storage. Those are our biggest categories. So Today's Local Media, we are, like I said, a leader in moving company marketing services. We primarily do custom web design and development on WordPress. We do local SEO, we do Google Ads, Facebook, that kind of thing. Pretty much anything online, we can help with. And we've got clients. We worked with hundreds of movers all over the U.S. and Canada, most major markets, and a lot of smaller cities too. So, with all of our experience doing marketing for movers, I think we have a really good understanding of how to generate leads online. Where are people going to look for movers, and what causes them to contact you? We drive over 1 million visitors to movers websites every year, so lots and lots of data. We are exclusive to digital marketing. We don't do anything offline, although we have a lot of relationships with people that do offline, print, direct mail, email marketing even. We don't do that. So many different people in the industry that have great services that complement what we do. So we know what works generally and what doesn't work just from all the times, dealing with that for our clients. But everything that we do is very data driven. So we are super focused on conversions, which conversion would be a lead. So like a form submission or a phone call. And so, all of our clients, we make sure that we are tracking everything: forms, calls, chat, everything, just so your true value of the service, and where your leads are coming from, so what to spend more or less on. Like I said, moving company experience. We've worked with so many moving companies around the country. So that's a little about us. So I'm going to go into today. I'm going to do 6 keys for Google My Business, although I could probably give you about 20. We can talk about that later offline, or some of your questions afterwards. But these are 6 that I think are really important. So the first one being accurate NAP. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. So you want to make sure, number one, that I'm assuming here with these 6 points that you already have a Google My Business listing claimed, verified. If you don't, I can send you some details about how to go do that. You can just or you just go to Google, search for Google My Business, and follow the directions to get your profile set up. The NAP, you want to make sure your name, address, and phone number is consistent on your website, on your Google listing, and many other websites that your company's listed on. This is just an example of a company here in DFW. You notice they've got these different listings on different sites. Their name is different on all these listings. Their address is slightly different. Unit B, Suite B, even smallest things such as spelling out the word suite or abbreviating it STE is different. So you think about Google as a non-human, you have to make it easy for their system to understand. And if you can make everything super consistent and the exact same across the board, that's going to give you the best chance to, rank in your city or, where your service area is. The second thing, complete business information. So in your Google My Business dashboard, there's a lot of tabs on the left-hand side. Google adds a new one, it seems, every couple months, something new to do in there. The biggest ones really are, we're going to go over here, but the first one being info. This is the first place I would start. This is an example of a business. They have their name, categories, address, service area, hours, and description, stuff like that. You really want to make sure that your categories are filled out properly, and Google adds and removes categories every year. And so every year you want to go in and check and see if there's new categories that you think your services would fall under and get those added. For the location in the service area, if you have a physical location, obviously add that here, go through the process to get the postcard, PIN number, verify all of that, and also list your service area because you're a moving company. So people may come to your location or try to find you, but you go to them. So you need to add all those cities or metros that you serve. If you don't have a physical location, you're working out of your house, technically you're not supposed to list residential addresses on Google. So that's okay. Just go into this address and edit, click clear address, and then add your service areas. And you're still letting Google know where you serve, whether you have a physical location or not. In my opinion, if you have a physical location, you probably have a better chance of ranking on Google Maps if someone's looking directly on there. But you can get ranked well, you can get leads, and you can get traffic either way. So people are at different stages of their business, and that's okay. Another new thing they added during COVID, I've got a couple points in here about COVID that most moving companies are not taking advantage of. In the info tab, there's a health and safety section, and these 6 points are listed there. Go in and check the boxes of the ones that are relevant to your company. Most movers aren't doing this. So this company, their staff wears masks. They don't do temperature checks on their staff or anything like that. But so they selected that one. Someone looks up this company, and on the right-hand side here, you'll see an example of what it looks like in the search results. Health and safety, staff wears masks. So if all things were equal, there was 2 companies someone was looking at in December, and one of them said that the staff wears masks, they're probably going to get the phone call. So give yourself every opportunity you can, fill out everything that's going to make customers, comfortable calling you. The next thing, so this is the services tab on the left-hand side of the dashboard. So you click on services, it will automatically pull in your categories that you selected. And depending on the category, they will add different sub-services here. And so you'll see these are automatically added right here. You can either go in and remove them if they're not relevant, or you can click on each one and add a bunch of text or information about your service specifically on that page or on that service. The Google says that this does not really affect your rankings, whether this is fully filled out and you go in and add those. But I mean, it's definitely not going to help you or hurt you to fill these out. So I always say fill these out, give as much details as you can to Google, to visitors, to all, all of that. So it's got to help. The third thing, create images and video. So there's a photos section in the dashboard. Um, Most of these screenshots are from the desktop version, but you've got photos under the Google My Business app, on your phone too. Go in, add photos add at least one photo every 7 days. Um, Statistics say there's a correlation between with adding photos every 7 days and higher rankings. So if you're adding photos constantly, this is going to help you out. And even if someone comes and sees this company, they're like, oh, these guys look personable. These are great photos, professional, legitimate company, logos on shirts. You're going to get the call because someone else has one photo that's a U-Haul truck on it or something like that. So that is very key. And if you think about it, Google, if you're taking a photo from your phone and you think about it from a technical aspect, you are located in that city where you serve, and you take that photo and you upload it, Google sees all of that information about where the photo was taken. This is going to help you really, dominate your market by just showing these photos that are taken all over your city and to show that where you're located and you serve. Long term, this is going to be really, really helpful. And if it's hard to remember to do this every week. We have some things that we build out internally for our clients to help them remember to add photos. But you could simply just go into your calendar app, whether it's Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, whatever you use, and just create a weekly reminder. Post a photo to Google My Business, and that will remind you to post a photo. And it's simple, it's free, it's easy for you to do. Just post a photo. You don't even have to write text with it. The fourth thing, messages and quote requests. So Google has a section on the left-hand side of the dashboard called messaging, and also in the app. You turn messaging on, then customers, anyone on Google can literally message you directly through Google. For them, it would be through Google Maps. For you, you would reply from your app or your dashboard, on your desktop. So go in, click messaging, click on turn on messaging, download the app, set that all up, and give people the chance to reach out to you through there. So many movers don't do that. And so why would you limit the number of reviews or the number of requests that you get? If you set that up, this is what it looks like from a mobile device. See, it says contact us now. Usually responds in a few hours for this specific company. You click on this, you send a text message, and the company will get that notification in their Google My Business app on their phone and on their dashboard, and they can respond. So respond fast so people know, like, okay, this is a reliable company. I can know I'll get a response quickly. If you don't respond to these, eventually Google will just turn this feature off on your profile, and you won't be able to use it anymore. So if use it or lose it. This is how it looks on desktop. The same thing, the messaging. Because you're a moving company, Google knows, okay, request a quote. They have this huge blue button, request a quote, directly on Google Maps. Cannot get easier. This is how you capture lead data. They click the blue button, this pops up, they type in their details, click request, it sends a request straight to you in the Google My Business app or the dashboard on your desktop, and you can reply. It's simple. Fifth, customer reviews. Most of you, I don't have to tell you how important customer reviews are. I know it's very hard to get customer reviews and be consistent about it. It's hard to implement, something with your movers and drivers to do this. But just a couple statistics, 91% of people aged 18 to 34 trust reviews as much as they trust personal recommendations. That's huge. So think of the people in that age group. What are they doing? They're usually, moving between apartments, moving into their first home, maybe a second home. If you do a lot of those kinds of moves, or you really like to focus in apartment moves, you need to have quite a few reviews if you want to, if you want people to reach out to you through there, because those people care about reviews. This chart here, this shows a little bit about, how many reviews do you need before someone really trusts you? So on average, a consumer needs to see 40 reviews before they trust your average star rating. So if you have, 100 reviews and your average star rating is like a 4.7, then that's a pretty good sign that you're doing a good job. So keep that in mind as you go add reviews. You need to get a lot of reviews. Keywords and reviews. So another part of the review process and reason why you should get reviews is if you have the same keywords popping up all the time in your reviews, this is a signal to the algorithms that you are related to this keyword. So if you had five different people, leave a review and talk about how you guys are the best movers, there's a good sign. This is a trigger to Google to say, okay, this company, it says best movers in here like 5 times. So this is a good signal that this must be one of the best movers. So if I was to go type in best movers in Dallas, you would have a better chance to show up for that specific keyword because you have those words in your reviews so much. That's just, it is, as a machine, they have to have ways to figure out, what you do, especially some of the less generic, moving related terms. There's so many like affordable movers, affordable or cheap or efficient, those kind of keywords in your reviews. People actually search for movers with those keywords in the search too. So just keep that in mind as you, are asking people to leave reviews. Encourage your movers out on the jobs to ask them to be descriptive in their reviews. Whether it's like, hey, do you like mention us in the review, or talk about your specific service? Like, just be a good judge of that, but try to encourage that when you can. Also, reviews. Something else that correlates with higher rankings is responding to reviews quickly. So you should already have, even if you haven't responded to your reviews, once this is done, go respond to every single review that you have on your listing, whether good or bad. Don't just respond to the ones that are negative that you want to go, defend your team. Respond to every single review, and going forward, respond to every review that's left within 72 hours. That's what correlates. They say if you respond to your review within 72 hours, so 3 days, that this will help you. This is another signal that's going to help you get ranked higher, get more leads, that kind of thing. So sixth and last thing we're going to talk about here, consistent posting. Some of you may remember Google Plus that they got rid of. Now in Google My Business, they have a post tab. So you can go write posts to share with anyone that follows your business, or anyone that sees your business in the search results. So you can do, they events, offers, list your products. You just post a picture and some text about what's been going on with your company. We won an award, that kind of thing, anything that you post. I've said this twice already. This is the third and last time I'll say it for the different things that we're talking about, but creating a post at least every 7 days correlates with higher rankings. So if you can create a post, whether it's any of these posts that you see here, within every 7 days, that's going to help you. So it can be any of those posts. Now with COVID, they actually have a different COVID-19 update. So you can go post, make sure you go post that no matter what, because that shows in the search results whatever your status is right now, you can change it. Say, we're open, we're wearing masks, we are, whatever you're doing that's COVID related, post that. And in Google, they will actually show your COVID-19 update, just like you've probably seen with restaurants and other things that you see on Google. This is an example of a moving company back when all this kind of started and everybody was on lockdown. They started doing virtual in-home estimates. And so they went in and posted an offer doing a virtual in-home estimate, posted a photo like this is how we do the estimate. This is who you're going to see. And that will entice people to maybe call you when they may not feel safe you come into their house and doing an in-home estimate. So this also, I took this screenshot directly from the first page of Google when you search for this company. And so this is just another way to get your brand and something related to your business in front of people. The more you can take advantage of this Google My Business dashboard, the more eyes that are going, like the more people are going to see it. There's an insights tab in Google My Business that tells you, who's viewing, who's calling and doing all that stuff for your business. You will see this number raise greatly. If you start doing all of these things that I've mentioned here, these 6 points, you will see more people viewing your information on Google without a doubt. So those are the 6 main points that I wanted to talk about. Like I said, there's way more that I could go into all day. Love to talk about this stuff with people. But we only have so much time. So I'm going to drop a link into the chat. It's just to a contact form. If you do want to chat about any of this stuff with me later on, maybe next week, just fill that out, schedule some time. Or if you just want to talk about your 2021 marketing plans, your goals, I'd love to hear about that stuff and see if there's anything we can help you with. Just fill that out. I'd be glad to chat with you. It's free, obviously. So with that being said, I think we're done. Ready for some Q&A, Claire.
Awesome, Ben. Thank you so much. That was super helpful. I found that really informative. I'm sure everybody else did as well. So we have had a couple of questions come in already. So the first one was, why doesn't Google allow messaging through the desktop app?
Through the desktop app?
Yeah.
On the, would that be the Google desktop app or Google My Business?
I think so. I think the Google desktop app. Google My Business webpage.
Google My Business webpage. Well, they want it to be in your pocket. So, when you click on the messaging tab in your on the desktop, they want you to download Google My Business app, because you're not going to get a notification on your desktop when a message comes in. But because it's on your phone, they can send you a notification pretty easily, and then you just pop it right up right there and reply. That's not a question I can answer. That might be a question for Google support.
Yeah, sure. Cool. So we had a couple more. So if somebody has multiple locations in one area, like the downtown area, well, how should they handle that for Google My Business?
Well, if you if you have multiple locations within a downtown area, and you're a moving company, I find that hard to believe that those are true locations, because if you were downtown and you had 2 locations and you were a moving company within a few blocks, that would be kind of odd, unless it was storage or like a warehouse or something. But generally, every listing that you have on Google, I recommend have a separate phone number for each listing, whatever you use. You can link to the same website for each listing and have the same business name. And as long as you can get a postcard with a PIN number at that location, you can usually get it verified and showing on Google. It's, you got to be careful with obviously virtual locations or co-working spaces. Google doesn't, Google smart. So you have to be careful around some of that.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. So I know you touched on this earlier, but somebody had asked, like, what kind of images is it best to use? Like, should it be your truck? Should it be the crew? Like, do you have any kind of Like, is there
Yeah.
anything that kind of really works quite well?
Think about it from a consumer perspective. If you're a consumer, what do you want to see if you're looking for a moving company? I want to see typically, I want to see who's going to be doing the moves. I want to see probably that they have a logo on their trucks, or that they're licensed, insurance, that kind of thing. So you can take a picture of your truck that maybe has your license on the door or something.
Okay.
That's important to me. Seeing logos on shirts. They're just stuff of, you at a job, maybe padding the door, padding walkways, that kind of thing, just to show that you guys truly care about, you don't want to put a ding in the wall, or, wrapping the furniture. Those are great photos, stuff like that.
It's like action shots, which could work really well with
For sure. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. They
awesome.
don't all have to be professional photos. Think about Yelp with restaurants. I usually see a professional photo on Yelp from a restaurant, and I click right through it, and I want to see the real photos that are posted.
Yeah, you want to see yeah, kind of real. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um,
Right.
so somebody had asked, should it be somebody specifically in the company that should set the profile up, and how many times, like how often should you update it? And we kind of touched on this as well. Is it kind of like a weekly thing, or should it be more than once a week?
Yeah, I say post and add a photo at least once every 7 days. That correlates with higher rankings. And as reviews come in, you want to get that email notification and go respond to it, when the reviews come in. So, make sure that you are checking in there. In terms of like new features and stuff that Google releases, you can check that once a quarter or so. Usually they don't do too much, do it too often.
Okay. So we had another question. Do you have any suggestions for how to best use the products category?
Sure. Yeah, so you can use this to, you can share some price ranges in there if you want to get into pricing. Some movers, they don't really want to share pricing publicly, so people don't price shop, or competitors don't see it. But you can go in there and essentially add your services. So if you are doing a, long distance moves starting at, $1,500 and up, or whatever that is, you can add products that way, since you don't have specific products necessarily that you sell, except maybe, box kits or something like that. You can kind of use that for your services and add different types of services that you offer. If it's a piano move or something like that, or pool table moves starting at this price, that kind of thing.
That makes sense. Yeah, cool. So we got one last question. I think that'll probably be the end. We're coming to the end of the 30 minutes. So if you say you have a profile on Yelp and you have your website and Google My Business, does it make sense to have as many different profiles as possible, or can that ever hinder having like too many of these?
Having too many Google My Business profiles,
Or like too
like
many, like if you have a
listings.
profile, yeah, like should you kind of have more one or two quality ones, or should you get yourself everywhere? Like what do you recommend is kind of the best
Yeah,
for
I mean, different people have different strategies. I am usually a big believer in whatever your main location or locations are, really blow those out, get a ton of good reviews, and like make sure everything is filled out there, and you update that quite a bit.
yeah.
Do that first, and then you can add on new locations. So if you want to expand into another city, or get an office in another city, do that later instead of spreading yourself too thin early. Really rule your own backyard first before you start doing that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense too. Okay, awesome. So I think that is all of our questions. Yeah, I think we're good. So Ben, thank you so much. That was really
Cool.
helpful. We appreciate you jumping on. And yeah, if anybody else has any more questions, just send an email over to myself, and I can ask Ben for his opinion. We'll get back to everybody. So thank you so much, and hopefully see you all at the next Mover Masterclass.
Cool. Thanks, Claire.
Thanks, Ben.
All right. Bye.
Bye.